Welcome to Whitetail Rendezvous Podcast. This is Bruce Hutchin, host and executive producer. Each week you will hear tips, techniques, strategies, and personal stories from some of the best and funniest whitetail hunters in North America. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you do, tell a friend on social media. If not, tell me and I'll make it better. Thanks for listening, folks. This is Whitetail Rendezvous Podcast, episode number 300. Whitetail Rendezvous and Strike Force Energy have joined together. What have they joined together to do? Well, they joined together to help you kick the can. That's right. Strike Force Energy is the fastest growing new energy drink on Amazon today. It's simple. All you do is rip, drip, and sip. That's it. No sugar, no crash, no calories. It gives you the ability to focus and stay in the stand, stay on the hunt all day long without carrying around a can. When I get a sample pack, simply go to strikeforceenergy.com, put in WR free, and you'll get a 4-count sample pack from Strike Force Energy. 91. Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. This is your host, Bruce Hutchin, and we're heading to Arizona, and we're heading to St. Louis, Missouri. How are we going to do that? Well, Skype's a magic tool. Anyway, we're going to visit with Jesse Paulson. And Jesse is the son of Mark Paulson, who started Wilderness Athlete, a supplement company many years ago, like 13. And Jesse's going to share what it takes to put the right fuel in your body so you can be a wilderness athlete. Switching up back to St. Louis, we're going to connect with Nick Lappy with Fit to Hunt. Fit to Hunt is simply that. You have to get your muscles in tune to whatever you're going to be doing. If you're climbing the Rockies, if you're down in Louisiana swamps and you're fighting the cold in Canada, or you're simply walking 200 yards to a tree stand, you need to be fit to hunt. Both these gentlemen are going to have some tips, techniques, strategies, and a couple of stories here and there to share. Welcome to an interesting episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. What's so interesting? Where we're going to include fitness and what we put in our bodies. I've asked Wilderness Athlete Jesse Paulson to be on the show, plus Nick Lapp from Fit to Hunt to be on the show. And we're going to talk over the next 45 minutes, maybe an hour, about why it's important for you to be fit to hunt and become a wilderness athlete. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Eric.
So, Jesse, let's start with you. And I know Mark started Wilderness Athlete some 13 years ago. So tell the listeners what you've seen in the growth of Wilderness Athlete and why you've had that growth.
Yeah. Well, to start off, Wilderness Athlete started 13 years ago, like you said. My dad, Mark, being a strength coach, he's been a strength coach for 25 plus years, kind of saw that the industry did not have a company that had products that were dedicated to helping improve hunters' lives and just their overall fitness levels. And so he came out and knowing the people that he knows, he met a lot of top formulators, top researchers and scientists, and he started Wilderness Athlete, and it's really grown from 13 years ago, and it's with the fitness. How it's become with people getting more and more into hunting as we've seen in the last couple of years. It's really helped prepare people for all types of hunting. So.
And when you think of an athlete, I know a lot of people have played college sports, high school sports, whatever sports, and they don't think as going out to the athlete that you qualify. They see people on TV, they see this, they see that, and they don't realize it. How do you get over that? I mean, how do you help people get over that?
Yeah, I think that, like we were saying, everyone's an athlete in their own right. You have guys that are working, industrial. They're concrete work. They're doing whatever. You have, your typical athlete who's, say a football player. He's going, 5-second plays, and he's got like 20 seconds rest, 30 seconds rest. and then he does that for about an hour, and that's his intensity right there, and that's how much his reps, and that's very intense. But then you have a guy who just a regular Joe, I mean, working blue collar job, who is picking up rebar, he's walking, he's doing all these things, that he's climbing up as a lineman, journeyman, he's going up poles. They're getting a lot more activity than you think they're going to have. And treating your body like an athlete, we should treat each and every one of us should treat our bodies as an athlete. And getting the right nutrition into your body is really in the beginning. That's where it starts. And that's where kind of wilderness athlete comes into play, and fit to hunt comes into play. Preparing your body with the right nutrition, the right supplements, and then being able to prepare your body for whatever is going to come. So whatever type of hunt that you're going to have, whether that be a waterfowl hunt or whitetail sitting in a stand, or you're a Western hunter and you're hiking 12 miles a day. It really doesn't matter.
Thinking about that, and we're going to get it into actually what wilderness athlete does, but it's fuel for our bodies. That's what I like to tell people. And if I'm eating pizza and cheese curds and drinking Leinenkugels most of the year, and then for 9 days I decide I'm going to be a wilderness athlete, I'm in a world of hurt. Guys, your thought on that?
You want to repeat that question one more time? Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm sitting in Wisconsin, and I work a job, but I also like my Leinenkugels. I'm eating pizza, and I'm eating cheese curds. And then, I realize hunting season come up. I'm going to hunt for 9 days, gun hunt. And then I wonder why I can't do anything. I can't even drag out a deer. So,
yep.
What's that all about? And what that's about is that you didn't take care of your body, for one thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lifestyle choice that you have to make, and there's a level of discipline that comes with it. That hunting for 9 days and getting after it really hard for 9 days, and then all of a sudden the other 356 days of the year you're sitting on your butt doing nothing. I mean, it's you don't use it, you lose it. Is just about as cliche as I can get with it, but it's definitely, if that ends up being a lifestyle that you choose, yeah, that 9 days is not going to be very fun.
Yeah, I mean, I want to kind of add to Nick and what he said, because really, what we do when we're hunting, we're looking for an enjoyable experience. First of all, we're not just looking to kill an animal or get something, get the job done. Really, it's really just about, even if I'm out in the wilderness or I'm out, hunting, I'm really looking for an enjoyable experience. And when you're huffing and puffing and your heart rate is going through the roof, and that tends to not be an enjoyable experience for a lot of people. And, Nick, him being the over at Fit to Hunt, he sees guys come in. I've seen a lot of people come in to, start their training regimen, and they have no idea what to start with. And we got to start them off even just with just basic things that are going to help them with just balance and mobility, and just hiking, which is probably the most functional thing that you can do.
When you talk about the most functional thing they can do, let's just start off or continue on this discussion. We got fuel, and then we got fitness. And, how do you marry the two together? And for a lot of people, how do they do it? Everybody's busy. I mean, that's the mantra of the day. I'm too busy. I'm too busy. I'm too busy. Well, you're too busy doing things. You fill up your day. I get that. Your schedule's filled up. You got to go here and go here. So how do they make an appointment for themselves to get up at 5:30 or before they come home from work or after work? And I don't recommend that after sit down and eat food to go work out. Your thoughts on that? Since I threw that out there, I don't think that's conducive to a good workout myself.
Well, it's definitely not conducive to a good workout. But one of the things that over at Fit to Hunt that we try to get our clients to understand is the importance of a schedule and a plan. If you have a schedule or you carry around a planner or you write everything down over the course of your day, then instead of going throughout your day and just reacting to everything and trying to figure out, do I have time for this? Do I have time for this? Do I have time for this? You have it written out, verbatim, how your day is going to go. Obviously, we all have those surprise things that pop up. So knowing that, maybe you don't try and fit everything into a day. Obviously, there's things that are going to be more important that you absolutely need to get done. Maybe there's things that you can stretch out over the course of a period of days. But the key is to actually have a plan. And that is where, not only just a workout regimen goes, but I know Jesse is probably chomping at the bit to get in on this, because in order to have a good fitness plan, there's got to be a good nutrition plan to go with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just on top of that, what we've done is we've partnered with Fit to Hunt. We're actually coming out with, we've talked with you, Bruce, about the 20-day challenge workout plan. And what that's doing is that's blending the two, having the proper nutrition to be able to perform a workout, and you have proper nutrition to give you the energy to actually want to work out. A lot of times I see people, they don't have the energy, and it's just sucking the light. They don't have the energy to work out, much rather or the energy to go through their daily activities, much rather work out on top of that. And so starting off in the beginning, starting off with a good nutrition, starting off with a package or a program that can get you going, with muscle management is the key. Over at Wilderness Athlete, we have the 20-day challenge package, which I talked about, that really is not a weight loss program, because technically when you're losing weight, you're losing muscle along with fat. And that's one thing you don't want to do. What we're doing is you're targeting the fat and helping preserve the muscle so that you can have that energy, so you can focus on those workouts that you're trying to get to, stuff like that. And that's what Nick has kind of put together with the workout program too, that we have that we're about to come out with at Wilderness Athlete as well.
I hope this is making sense to you folks, because from personal experience, and I'll just keep this real short. You've heard this before in a number of shows, different ways, but let's just focus on what happened to Bruce. Bruce, in 2015 June, realized that my hip was going, and I went to therapy. I went to this, and I did everything I should, and they're kind of humming and hawing, and it just didn't get fixed. So I got myself in shape enough to go hunting whitetails for 30 days, and it hurt so much so I stayed out the first day of gun season, came off the woods, and it was really, really cold, and I said, I'm gone. And I had the right clothes on. I said, I'm out of here because I can't hunt anymore. So I came home, and so that's November, get a hold of a doctor, and so February 9th, I had my total hip replaced. Okay, then I always put in for permits because you never know if you're going to draw them in Colorado. I do a sheep tag. So I had from approximately May, June, I think it was closer to April. I don't remember. I was working out. I was doing some things to get back, but then I was motivated. So before my sheep hunt, I did over 100 miles on the ground on a bike. I climbed the Manitou Incline, did all this stuff, and so I was ready to spend 22 days in the mountains, where I walked another 100 miles. And I was pretty much about 212 pounds. Probably that's the weight I played in college and stuff. Back in the day, I couldn't play that I was too late. But having said that, I made a decision. That's all the last 30 seconds, 90 seconds about. I made a decision that if I wanted to hunt sheep, I had to be in the best shape I could, and I just had to get back to where I needed to be so I could climb the mountains and chase the sheep. So I was motivated. If you're not motivated, then it doesn't matter what Jesse says or what Nick says, you're not going to do anything. So, along with it, how do we get people motivated to change?
Ooh.
Man, I mean, I guess that's probably the toughest problem that we have is changing somebody's mindset into, taking either frustration or anger or, a will to work and trying to get them to see and use it. One of the biggest motivators for some people is, at some point in time, whether it be, something health related that pops up where they end up in the hospital or they're on all sorts of medications. Eventually there comes a time, and I'm sure Jesse has seen this as well, where people just get sick and tired of, being unhealthy. They get through a point in their life where all of a sudden they realize, like, I'm not healthy. I don't eat right. I don't work out. I weigh, way more than I should, or I can't move as well as I should. And it just gets to a point where they turn frustration and anger and all those feelings into their own motivation. Now, a lot of times, because of what we do, because of what Jesse and I do, it is our job to try and get them to see that. And one of the best ways is obviously talking with them, being more than just a trainer or being more than just, a nutritionist or a dietitian or a coach. It's getting on their level with them and essentially getting them to say it. The sooner we can get them to say it, the sooner people will start to realize, oh man, like, this frustration makes me want to quit. But if I just push through maybe this a little bit of frustration, or if I change the way that I set my goals and achieve my goals, maybe this frustration will start to wane a little bit and we can, really start to move into a healthier lifestyle.
It's funny you say that, Nick. Actually, yesterday, I walk into Radio Shack. They're having a blowout sale. And then my wife drags me over there to try and get, some deals on stuff. And so I start talking with the manager there, and smaller guy, he's about 5'6". I tell him I work for a nutrition company, and he tells me he used to weigh last year around that time he weighed about 340 pounds, and now he looked like he was 150 pounds, and I was amazed at just what he did. And I asked him, like, wow, what made you want to change? Like, what got you to the point where you wanted to, take it into your own hands? And he kind of said what you said, Nick, that he just kind of got sick of, feeling the way he was feeling. And he didn't know that there was a better feeling out there than the way that he was with the drinking 5 Cokes a day and, having to, rely on all these medications and stuff like that. But, it's just getting sick and tired of being feeling the way that you're feeling. And that's a trainer's job. And that's really what kind of Nick and even myself, I enjoy helping people find that their motivation. And even though it's different for a lot of people, but one of the best things I heard was that results are the biggest motivator. And so even if it's very small in the beginning, or the 10 or 15 pounds, starting off and seeing results is really catapults people towards even bigger results. And that's what kind of the 28-day challenge, and it was meant to do for wilderness athletes. That's been the most popular package that we've ever had, is that it really catapults people into a health conscious lifestyle and creates great patterns and great habits for people to really start off and with Fit to Hunt, then creating those workouts in the beginning to really create habits again for people just to see, very, very incremental results is probably the key in the beginning.
Let's switch it up a little bit. Both you guys are outdoorsmen. You hunt. So let's talk about Fit to Hunt. Nick, on your side, how being fit, that's your job. I get that, but helps you become a better hunter.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of answers to that question. Being from the Midwest, a lot of times you're not hiking around, you're not going up and down mountains. I mean, granted, there are places where, obviously there's a little bit of elevation change and you're going to be, hoofing it up and down a little bit. But one of the biggest reasons to stay fit to hunt, from my perspective, is the work that goes into the hunting season. Here in Missouri, you have a lot of opportunities very close by to hunt deer, ducks, doves, turkeys, you name it. If it's a game animal in the Midwest, there's a good chance that you're not far from being able to hunt it. Now, the biggest thing is the work that goes into it, whether it's planting a food plot, whether it's clearing trees, whether it's clearing a ditch to be flooded for duck season. The work starts when the previous hunting season ends. And even during the hunting season, there's always work that can be done to make your hunt better. So even though we sit in tree stands, climb up in a tree and sit for long periods of time, much like you, Bruce, that period of time in between where there's real hot days out on the farm and there's a lot of time spent lugging heavy equipment or tree trunks or stumps or anything around, those are the kind of days that we try and stay fit to hunt for, whether it's working on somebody's hydration, whether it's getting somebody to be able to balance in a duck marsh. When you're walking through water and, say you're hunting on public land, like I do a lot, you got 50, 60 pounds of decoys and gear strapped to your back and you're walking through waist deep water. That in itself is a workout. If you're not prepared for something like that, you are going to have a miserable time. So being strong, one of my favorite quotes is, people always say lifting weights and doing exercises like that is dangerous. But I say, try being weak. Being weak is the real danger. Because when you're doing some of these things out on the farm and in a duck marsh, or even if it's walking the 300 yards to your stand and you have balance issues, it all has its own issues. And so that's why we try to keep people fit to hunt, is we want to try and make them strong in the most scientific way we know how, depending on your fitness level. There's so many different changes that Fit to Hunt can make, our programming can make, to one, make you comfortable at the gym, and two, make you more successful while you're hunting.
And Nick, you're not even
go ahead.
About just long term. You're preparing these individuals for, you are preparing them for the long term and the quality of life, because it's really, you want them to become strong and you want them to be able to hunt for this next season. But ultimately, you're improving their quality of life so that they can hunt harder for longer and be able to, extend their hunting seasons, out to where they can, get as many hunting seasons with their grandchildren, their children, their grandchildren, as much as they can. And again, that's a part of what you do too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we take pride in when people come to work with Fit to Hunt. It's not just throwing weights in people's hands. We take a very different approach to where we assess movements to try and make some of the most basic movement patterns, whether it's even getting up from a chair, whether it's taking that first step up onto a ladder rung. We try to retrain your body to do it in the most efficient way possible, so that, as we progress through exercises, through workouts, through programs, you start to get to a point where you realize, oh man, not only am I moving better, but now it's a lot easier for me to progress through some of these movements, so that down the line, we've brought you through an entire range of movement patterns to the point where you're doing things that you never really thought possible. Now, obviously, sticking with the plan is huge and making sure that it sticks. And that, like Jesse just said, we want you to be able to not go for just like a 4-week program or an 8-week program or 12. We want you to be able to eventually just keep going, make it a part of your life to the point where you can hunt for just about as long as you please.
And I like what you put, Nick, in your bio. And Jeremy's talked about that. Jeremy Kurger is the gentleman that started Fit to Hunt, and he's been on the show a number of times. But functional movement system, and so everything do is functional. Whether I'm climbing a rock or sliding down a scree slope or just climbing into my ladder stand 15, 20 feet in the air, it's all functional movement. And you said something important. Sometimes just getting to our stand, we're doing a heck of a lot of motions. We're reaching, we're stretching, extending our legs. We're walking real small. We've got swamp, brushes, lakes, critters, logs, whatever in our way.
Absolutely.
And it's an obstacle course, and people don't realize that, especially in the dark. If you go in the dark.
Well, and
go ahead.
We definitely try to think, like, depending on where people are hunting, their geographical location, we're thinking worst case scenario. If you're walking up a hill, or even if you're walking across a cornfield, if you've ever done that after a really hard rain, the walk itself will just tire you out, especially if you're focusing in on trying not to slip, or you're trying not to, sink in the mud, and you got to be able to pull your foot out without losing your balance and falling. We always try to think, what is the worst case scenario for each movement progression that we have, in order to make sure that, we're kind of hitting all our bases, depending on, wherever it is you might be hunting. Because, everybody likes that, partly cloudy day where it's cool and the sun's not too crazy, slight breeze, and, the ground is, maybe a little bitty bit wet, and you get to your stand and it's a great hunt. But we've also all hunted in the conditions where it's sunny at one point, and then all of a sudden you're driving out to your stand and you get there, it cuts loose and pours, and then you got possible flash flooding on your property because all the holes are filled up with water and all the mud is ankle deep. There's always going to be some sort of obstacle in your way, like you said, Bruce, that you have to either walk around. It could be easy to walk around it, or you can make it really hard on yourself to walk around it. But you never really get to a point where every hunt is perfect. So that's kind of where we try to take most of our programming.
Yeah, before you jump in, Jesse, I was just sitting here thinking about my friends who do mudders, the obstacle course through the mud and stuff. I'm going, man, they should go goose hunting with me sometime. But it's true.
Oh yeah.
No, it's really true.
Well, one of the things you talk about goose hunting, I had a situation like that the other day. My buddy's truck got stuck. People don't think, oh, truck got stuck. Yeah, you just try and get something underneath the tire and push it out. Trying to get something underneath the tire of a truck and help push it out, that's a workout.
Oh.
If I didn't lift weights, if I didn't work out on a regular basis, trying to get a truck out of a ditch would be almost impossible.
Yeah.
It would just seem like, there's no strength behind it. You can't really, you don't feel like you can really help. And then all of a sudden your hunt is sunk, figuratively and literally, I guess.
Yeah. Jesse, your thoughts on what we just said about, the challenge, the mudders, and they have leagues and people, guys and gals, and, I'm glad they're doing it, but in hunting, that's sometimes their way of life. I know guys that have hunted in Africa, they're up to the chest when they're hunting for leche. I hope I said it right, lychee or leche, and they're in these swampy areas. I mean, you have to basically wade through the swamp to get to where you're hunting them. We lose you, Jesse? Hello.
Oh, you hear me?
Yeah,
oh.
You there?
Can you hear me? Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So,
no, I just I totally agree. I totally agree. On both of you guys talk what you're talking about, because I mean, you go down there and you're doing that's the most functional thing that you can do is getting down those swamps, and you're working out muscles that you have never worked out before. You're feeling muscles you never worked out. And, there's no amount of International Chest Day that can help you prepare for that type of workout. And, that's why Nick is so good at, I see him all over. He's got some great instructional videos on Instagram, on the functional movement and functional movement patterns. And you see a lot of guys, especially in the hunting industry, is starting to get kind of a bodybuilding type of vibe to it. And honestly, that doesn't really help you in the mountains. 23-inch arms doesn't help you pull back a bow and hold it there for 60 seconds while that bull is coming to you. And it really just functional fitness. Functional strength is the key. And those different movements that, deadlifts, single leg, Romanian deadlifts, and all kinds of these lunges, and there's specific movements that are going to help you in the backcountry, help you in the woods. And then there's some that just are going to be almost detrimental to your hunts. And I specifically have found that to be the case, because I am one of those typical guys who used to, do back and by day, or I still do back and by day, but, I focus more on my legs and doing functional movements because I feel it when I go hunting. I used to not be an endurance guy, coming from the football world, coming from where you, like I said, you're doing a 10-second burst, and then you're resting for 20, 30 seconds, to hiking, up a mountain in Colorado at 11,000 feet, and you're just dying. So it's very...
Whitetail Rendezvous is pleased to announce a partnership with GoHunt.com. Who's GoHunt.com? Well, if you're a DIY hunter, you need the information at GoHunt.com/insider. Why? Because it provides 4,200 profiles, every unit, every species, and every season. Furthermore, they give in-depth analysis, interactive maps, unit access, and seasonal trends. Draw odds are very important, and they give you the most accurate information in the business. All this is available when you go to GoHunt.com/insider. Make sure you use promo code WR when you join Insider. You'll get a $50 gift card for GoHunt.com Gear Shop. All in all, if you're hunting out west in 2018, GoHunt.com Insider is where you need to be to get all the research information. When you use promo code WR, Whitetail Rendezvous receives a small commission from GoHunt.com.
It's a very different type of fitness that you're looking for.
Yeah, and when I think, we're talking about some great things, and before I go on, okay, Jesse, you start off, and then Nick, you come back. Okay, if somebody says, man, or I want to get more information, how are they going to do that?
Well, for Wilderness Athlete, you just have to go to our wildernessathlete.com. Our Instagram, we have some great videos. We're also doing some instructional videos on technique and different things through our email list. But going there is going to be the best for us. And then we're partnered again with Fit to Hunt, and using Fit to Hunt, that discount code, you'll be able to try our products and help out a local company. And I think that for Wilderness Athlete, part of Fit to Hunt has been beneficial relationships for us, for sure.
Nick?
Yeah, get in contact with Fit to Hunt. It's definitely similar to Wilderness Athlete with Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter. Our website is fit2huntperformance.com. You can kind of get a little bit more idea of who we are, who works with us, and where it is we try to take our fitness programs. We want to try and make sure that every single time that someone comes to us, they realize, like, it's not your average everyday program. We're not going to just, bring you on and say, oh yeah, here's a cookie cutter workout that everybody can do. We try to make sure that everybody realizes that they have an importance to us, and that, each person moves different, and especially for whatever hunt you might be doing. So follow us on Instagram at Fit to Hunt, and then fit2huntperformance.com.
How about Twitter? What's your Twitter?
Twitter is at Fit to Hunt.
No underscore or anything?
Underscore between fit, underscore between the two and the hunt.
Okay. And one thing, guys and gals, I'm going to be doing some work with both Fit to Hunt and Wilderness Athlete coming up here real quick, and I'm going to be on their 28-day challenge or 20-day challenge?
28-day.
28-day challenge. And so we're going to work on some videos and stuff. And most everybody knows I'm 70 years old, but that has no bearing, because my mental process, my mental attitude is that if I need to get on the other side of that mountain, I'm going to do that. Now I can do it somewhat comfortably and not gasping and rolling on the floor thinking I'm having a heart attack at 12,000 feet. Or I can just, get up there, take a drink, hydrate all the way up, hydrate all the way down. When they get to the top, get out the glassing, have some tea, whatever you need to do, get your jet boil out, do all these type of things. And that's what I do right now, because I make it easy on myself. I enjoy the journey, but it's hard. It is not easy to get out in the wilderness and go. And I don't care where you're at. I've been pheasant hunting and some of the stuff in the Dakotas, and I'm going, geez, this is a workout. And that's exactly what it was. It was a workout. So having said that, I'm looking forward to working with both Fit to Hunt and Wilderness Athlete and sharing with that on Instagram, and however we get it set up, we're gonna share it. And of course it will be in my post and what I do posting the shows. But because of that, I want to help motivate some people that said, if that old guy can do it, I can do it. Or, gee, I never thought about it. I'm 60 years old and I never really thought about it. Because if you're healthy, it's unbelievable the stuff you can do, both mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Well, the mental part is probably the biggest for just about anybody, because more often than not, I've written a few articles and blog posts about, negative self-talk. And, for some reason in this day and age, a lot of the talk that we give ourselves on the inside, can directly, affect who we are just as a person and our personality. And the sad part is, a lot of it can be negative. And we spoke earlier about trainers being more than just trainers, being coaches, being an outlet for some of these people, getting past that mental part, getting past the pride part, not even so much pride as in, I can't work out at this gym because I lift too much, but pride as in, I am a proud person. I may not be in the best shape, but so many more people are in better shape than I am. I can't work out at this gym, and that goes back to the negative self-talk part, is the mental side of getting anything ready fitness-wise for yourself or anything ready nutrition-wise for yourself is going to take, a little bit of preparation. You can't do it all at once. And if it doesn't work the first time, you can't go back into your head and just start saying, well, it didn't work that time, so I'm just going to give up. The mental side is huge in making any sort of difference in your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Nick hit it right on the nail on the head, and the mental part's the most important part, because that gets you to the gym, and that's the first step. For me, all I can say is, for me, just getting there and really just kind of, like I said, the results are the biggest motivator for me, in, getting situated and seen, even if it's not aesthetic results, even if it's just increased energy, if it's just mental clarity, stress relief, that's really what you have to, getting into that mental habit of doing, I feel, and realizing that, this is going to have long-term results. Even if you're not benching 400 pounds, even if you're not, and I met Nick last week or 2 weeks ago at the Pope and Young conference, and this guy's huge. He's 6'4". How much you 240? I'm like, man, I need to get in the gym a little more. And, this is, everyone starts to compare themselves to everybody, especially in this day and age. I'm sure you guys, Instagram, it's hard to focus on yourself and just focus on, just little results. And instead of looking at the CrossFit God, or even, looking at Nick, and you're looking like, man, I got to get my squat up, or something like that. So I think just focusing on yourself and, being able to keep your blinders on too.
And I think Jesse's absolutely correct. I think another big thing is people that come in to see us realizing that we are still humans. We work in the gym. Yeah, we probably have a free membership wherever we're working, but we still have the same thought processes every now and then. We still have the same feelings when we wake up in the morning, like, goodness, do I really have to work out today? But again, it's that constantly working on that mental aspect that gets us to not only compete with, essentially with other people, but with ourselves as well. And making sure that people realize, like, we're not anything special. We still go through the same mental processes everybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
You think about that, and, what we're talking about, people have heard, people have read, just get any tabloid off the shelf, especially women magazines, be fit in 10 days, lose your stomach and, fight in 15 workouts, do this. Everybody has an elixir. There's companies out there that say, man, if you just eat my product for 20 days, you're going to lose 20 pounds or whatever. And it just doesn't work, because people do it for 20 days, but they don't have the support. They don't have the foundation. And then 6 months later, they're right back where they are. And I know that's true. I came off the mountain. I got my shoulder pinned. And so I went into a funk, November, December. I couldn't hunt whitetails, blah, blah, blah. Woe was me. In January, February came, and then March. And I said, okay, enough of this. Because I started putting my permits again. And if I pull a goat permit, I know right where I'm going to be back at.
Oh yeah.
And that's funny, but at least I know that, I've got to do something, and it's a lifestyle. I like how you said that before, Nick or Jesse. It becomes a lifestyle because when you feel better, you can accomplish more. I don't care if you never climb a 14er. Doesn't matter. You're going to accomplish more personally by being fit, because your mental process is good. You're going to feel good about yourself, and you're putting good stuff in your body, and you're keeping your body tuned. Your thoughts, guys?
We get individuals who start on the 20-day challenge. They go through it. They love it. They lose 20 pounds, and it gives them a great, head start. And then I will see them ordering that same 28-day challenge, or I'll see them and they get back into a funk, they get back into a bad habit. And really it's just that inconsistency. And it happens to all of us. So it's not, it happens to me as well. I think I'm a fit person, but what I have to do regularly is I'm very inconsistent with my diet, and being able to, even for just a person who's trying to get reset, get onto a program where you just have to, you've been cheating, you've been eating those Cheetos that have been, in the back of your truck for, a week. You got to get back into, a program just to reset yourself. And so I do it regularly, even though I don't lose a crazy amount, because it is a muscle management program. I'll lose 3 or 4 pounds of just fat, maintain my muscle, and then it really just gives me more of an energy and focus and clarity more than anything. But yeah.
Your thoughts, Nick or Jesse? I don't know which one just responded.
Oh, that was Jesse. I think Bruce, I think Jesse was the one that said it. If you can get past the mental side of things, you use the 28-day challenge. It's a great boost. It's a great initial boost. Taking that and learning from it and running with it is going to be the next battle. But you're always going to be battling that one thought inside, and that's just walking in the gym or walking into your basement or wherever it is you might be working out. The battle is going. If you don't go, nothing happens. If you continue to not go, nothing happens. But if you can just tell yourself that one time that I need to walk through the door of the gym or I need to walk downstairs and do this, then you've already won for that day. And if you can keep doing it and keep getting those small wins, again, another thing Jesse said that I love, get those small wins, get those small results. Once you get past all the negative self-talk and being frustrated like I was talking about earlier, and you start getting those positive reinforcements going on, then you've got some momentum. Then all of a sudden you light a fire under your own butt. And, there's no better high than knowing that you did it by yourself.
Yeah, I can't agree, more on that. It's my son tells me all the time, and he goes to the gym. He goes to the gym because his back's jacked up, and by strengthening his core, his back isn't as bad. So it's pretty simple. So he has to go to the gym, or he gets in, his back is in trouble. Having said that, he always says to me, he said, "Dad, just throw your bag in your truck." And he said, "With you don't have to get up at 5:00. You don't have to get up at 4:30. You can go anytime you want. So you just have to go there because." And he's seen me do it. He said, once you get started, then it becomes simple because I have an appointment. I got to be at the gym at 6:30. I got to be at the gym at 4:35, whatever it is. Boom. I go there, do my workout, get out of there and get on with my life. And so many times we miss doing that for ourselves. Shelley Grandstead, she's in a program, Beach Bodybuilder, I believe the name is. Shelley, don't get mad at me if I said it wrong. But anyway, she has literally transformed herself from a lady that was, just call it large, and self-esteem and all those things we're talking about. And because she got on a program, a regimen, and she stuck with it, and she's sticking with it, and she's changing not only her body, and she wasn't a bad-looking girl or lady in the beginning, and she's still a great-looking lady now, but she says, if you read her post on Facebook, she says she feels better. She knows she's never going to have to look at that other person in the mirror again. And that's strong, folks, because she didn't like what she saw, but she didn't know how to fix it. Now she found a vehicle to fix it. And all of a sudden, she's more confident, she's more self-assured, all these things. And it came from not just losing weight. It came from having accountability. It came having persistence. It had coming from dedication, all the things that we've been talking about here. She committed to it, and she'll be like that the rest of her life because she realizes the dramatic change she's made in her life. Your thoughts?
I think one of the biggest words you just said is commitment, and it's not necessarily a commitment to the gym or the nutrition or the program. Is a commitment to yourself. You can't start a nutrition program and say, I'm going to do this without actually believing you can. You're not going to start a program and say, I'm going to do this without actually believing that you're going to continue with it. So the commitment part is 100% true. But what people really, truly need to understand is that it really is a commitment to themselves. It is something they're doing for themselves, not to themselves. I feel like there's a lot of videos and a lot of, Facebook posts and different things out there that can actually scare people who have never been in a gym, who have never lifted a weight. I feel like a lot of times those kind of things can scare people away when it doesn't have to be like that. But it doesn't have to be, what are they doing to themselves? as opposed to, what can I do for myself?
Yeah, and I think in social media, a lot of it, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm buff, I'm shapely,
Exactly.
whatever you want to call it. And then you go, man, I'm right now, I should be 212, I'm 226, so I've got 14 pounds additional. My shoulder kicked me in the butt. Okay, I get that. But now, I look at some guys that I look up to and I go, oh, I know how much work it's going to get back there. But guess what? It doesn't matter, folks, because you're never going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. Very few people were, because he was a world champion. Okay. And if you idolize, which isn't a good thing, in my opinion, idolize somebody, say, oh man, he's ripped. Look at his six pack. Look at his, look at his traps. He can squat 452 pounds, blah, 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 blah. And I'll tell you one thing, I'd rather go against somebody that runs high aerobic, doesn't have a lot of muscle mass, but some of those guys, and I see them in the mountains, they run 100-mile races. And if you were all muscled up, you couldn't do it. Lactic acid would bury you. Correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think Jesse was talking about it earlier because he runs around out west, and he was talking about my size. I'm 6'3". I weigh 260 pounds. Yes, I can lift a lot of weight, but if he took off into the mountains, you can be certain that I'd just be yelling after him, "Hey, I'll just see you back at the truck." Because me carrying around this kind of weight in the mountains and on the hills and things that he would hunt in, it just wouldn't work. Now here in the Midwest, that's what my body's good for. My buddy called me the other day and said, "Hey, Nick, I need you to come help me move some trees out of my duck ditch." I can do that. How far are we moving it? 10 feet? Awesome. It just kind of plays into wherever it is you might be hunting. It plays into how you might be hunting. And to look at somebody else and say, I want that kind of body. If hunting is what you do and hunting is what you want, and you look at a guy who is built like me and you want to hike around out west, you might want to think twice. Because my kind of training is not going to be beneficial to you whatsoever out there. I shouldn't say whatsoever, but it's not going to be beneficial for at least a real fun, easy hunt.
But you can climb a 14er, but you just have to. Today you can't, but you can do it if you came and trained. Just train with me, train with Jesse. I could get you to the top of 14er. There's no question in my mind.
Absolutely.
Because you have the drive and everything.
Absolutely.
Are you going to be fluid? Are you going to be the motion? Are you going to do those things? No, but that's one thing. You see people, I call them flatlanders. I'm not going to say they climb on flip-flops, but their sneakers almost should be flip-flops, or take them off. And they'd be better without anything. But no,
just go barefoot.
Yeah, exactly. But you think about that, and I think about, what you do with your body. But all you'd have to do is just get in an environment. Things would change. Your flexibility would change. All these things, your eating habits, because you are going to eat more carbs because you're going to burn them up, blah, 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 blah. But you do all that stuff with somebody that knows what the heck they're doing. All of a sudden, you go, wow, I never thought I could be able to do this. And there you are. That's my thought.
Absolutely. Those are all things that we have to think about with a lot of our out of state clients is where are they hunting? What are they hunting? What kind of training do they need? And then we kind of go along a pathway that's similar to that and, really try and delve into what their needs base is according to, what and where they're hunting.
So how are we doing, guys? So are we covering some of the things where we've been on the show about a little bit more than an hour? Let's make sure, let's start with Jesse with Wilderness Athlete. The three big things that wilderness athletes provide people, and then Nick, you can do the same thing, and then we're going to wrap the show.
Yeah, just one thing, probably more than anything, is that Wilderness Athlete's been around for 13 years, and what we provide is scientifically based nutrition that really is quality nutrition. It's not a lot of proprietary blends of different things that you can't pronounce the names of it. Nothing. It's very, very natural things. Stuff that's going to help you really prepare yourself for anything, any type of hunt, whether that be out in Missouri or getting in a tree stand, or out in the West and you're hiking. So it's for, and it doesn't even have to be for anybody who's just during the hunting season, but it's really just for improving the quality of life for everybody and the longevity of everyone's life. And you don't, with the FDA regulations and stuff like that, and the regulations, I would advise a lot of people to do their own research in nutrition and try and figure out, what exactly is going in their bodies, and find a company. It doesn't even have to be Wilderness Athlete. Find a company that you can feel the results, and you are seeing improvements in your mental clarity or your body mass or stuff like that to go with them, and that's the same be said with Fit to Hunt. So,
Nick.
Well, I guess probably the biggest thing that I would tell people about Fit to Hunt, what we can do for them, is even when you don't think that your kind of hunting trip really requires much in the way of physical activity, is to stop and think for a minute. No one's getting any younger. We all want to continue to do this over a long period of time because it's something that we love. If you're driving through a fast food restaurant every single day, if you're sitting at a desk every single day and you're not getting out and you're not teaching your body how to move, I'm not saying working out, I'm saying teaching your body how to move, then you're not really doing anything for your future of hunting. And that's the biggest thing that we do, is we teach your body how to move, we strengthen it, we teach it all sorts of different things that it can do, that it should be able to do, to hopefully make your hunts and your lifetime of hunting that much better. And then coupling all of that with Wilderness Athlete supplements. One of the biggest things I say to people about the supplements there, Coach Paulson said it to me, is we feed our deer minerals and supplements. Why wouldn't we treat ourselves the same way in order to get bigger, stronger, and faster, essentially?
Yeah.
Well, guys, on behalf of Whitetail Rendezvous podcast listeners across North America, I hope some of you guys and gals took this to heart. And yeah, I'm beholden to both Fit to Hunt and Wilderness Athlete. They're taking me under their shoulder or their wing, if you will, and say, Bruce, you've done a lot of neat things in the wilds, and that's good. But, at 7 years old, you eat kind of what you eat and this and that. So they're going to work with me, and I can't wait to document this and share it with you guys. It'll be up on my YouTube channel. It'll be up on my Instagram channel, Facebook, Twitter, so forth and so on, because I always tell people, if I can do this, if I can transform my body and my mind, there's nobody on planet Earth that can't, because I'm nobody special. I'm not better than anybody else. I've just been a driven individual that I love to go to wild places, and to go to wild places, I have to be in shape. That makes sense, guys? Why don't you give your last 2 cents, and we're going to call it a show.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely, yeah. Bruce, we're looking forward to working with you for sure, and really getting your insight on what it is that we do at Fit to Hunt and Wilderness Athlete, and seeing how it affects your life and your hunting.
I'm all for that.
I'm excited to see this for sure.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Hey, folks. Bruce Hutchin, host of Whitetail Rendezvous. Hey, I'm pleased to announce that Buckwild Coffee is continuing their sponsorship for 2019. What's so special about Buckwild Coffee? Well, a gazillion people every day go to Starbucks and buy coffee. Well, I'll ship it to your house. Yes, I'll ship light, medium, or dark roast, ground or bean, right to your house. It's real simple. Just go to whitetailrendezvous.com/shop, pick out what roast you want, and we'll ship it out. Take a look at Buckwild Coffee, the finest roast in the West. Well, finest roast around the campfire, finest roast around your kitchen table. It's just flat out the finest roast you can get today. Order some at whitetailrendezvous.com/shop.
And you all have a good day, and we'll be talking real soon.
You too, Bruce.
All right. Talk to you soon, guys.
We're here now for the next episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. We're going to meet up with Quentin Strum. Now, Quentin is one of the main ramrods at Above the Game TV. In fact, he's the pro staff manager. And Quentin tells me that they're one of the very few people that are supported on social media for their show. So on Facebook, you're going to find Above the Game. So check it out because they're real people in real places. It's really a unique setup that you can go and watch 8 to 10 minute segments on Above the Game on Facebook. It's a pure social media play for the outdoor channels. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Above the Game.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.